little tricky because I think it starts like 30 seconds later, but actually I think it's probably live right now.
Great.
Yeah, 3, 2, go. All right, we are officially back live now in I guess we're calling it the Hot Mic Let's Talk podcast studio here at FRI, Wildfire Wednesdays, Tech Talk Tuesdays. But here in Orlando with first time we got 4 wonderful scholars here in this little podcast booth. You could call this maybe like a little fish tank, a shark tank, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. But maybe let's go around the horn here really quick and introduce ourselves. I'll go first. My name is Kevin Sofin, tech advisor with IAFC, helping to plan Technology Summit International. And to my left, we got
Ron Cooley, just a recent retiree from a small little department outside DC, Fairfax County, and here to talk about the great work our good friend Ray's doing.
and Ray.
Ray Lincoln. I'm the CEO and founder of United Diagnostics.
Will Brocious, the Deputy Chief of Charlottesville Fire Department.
So we're here talking shop about not just Fire Rescue International and not just Orlando and Disney, but we're here today talking about fire service, health and wellness. And really that's one of the most important things about why we're here is how can we make the fire service better, faster, safer, and most importantly, try and prevent preventable issues, particularly one of the biggest issues in the fire service, cancer. So Ray, for just kind of a high level 30,000-foot view, I mean, what is United Diagnostic? Tell us a little bit about how you got into this field of work, and then we'll dive into some of the bigger issues of cancer.
Sure. Well, I dedicated all my life to diagnostic tests because I lost my mom to cancer when she was only 26 years old. Started this company back in 2001, but started national mobilization of early detection programs for first responders in 2017. What we've done is we put together a comprehensive early detection program that consists of us scanning 9 organs and body parts. We mobilize gold standard diagnostic technology such as ultrasound to make sure that departments have a chance to prevent cancer and cardiovascular disease.
Yeah, and I was going to say, Kevin, I wanted to point out, and Ray, correct me, but while we were prepping for this, was that a firefighter that walked up and told you thank you because he used your service and they detected early cancer?
Yes, that was Chief Chase from Maine, and we just completed a state program there, and he said that one of the firefighters was detected with kidney cancer, however, it was detected early. And that's exactly what we're trying to achieve with this. Mobilize the services on site so folks can have a chance to detect these pathologies early, be engaged with their physicians for immediate biopsies, immediate surgeries to make sure they're back to light duty or back to work immediately.
You mentioned the word mobilizing. Is that actually bringing these services on site and actually doing it to where they don't have to go and spend half a day going to the doctor? You're actually bringing it to them?
That is correct. We are our goal is to make this first of all, to make the services accessible for every department in the nation, regardless of how many people that department have. We mobilize gold standard diagnostic technology such as ultrasound, which is completely harmless. We set up our easy setup is we utilize 300 square feet open space and we're completely operational. So you pretty much can put us in any flagship fire stations, any union hall, any community center. And within one day, we're going to build a full diagnostic center when it's going to be very safe and private for folks to go through the screening with us.
Yeah, Kevin, to see that chief officer walk up and you can see the sincerity and his thanks. Not trying to give you a commercial, but if we would have had a video camera and caught that, it was a perfect moment to see it live, right? And for him to say, hey, this product really, really works. So on behalf of firefighters, thank you for what you're doing. I've lost a really close friend to cancer, and to know that there's technology out there that could, possibly prevent someone else from losing a good friend in the fire service. We can't thank you all enough for what you're doing for the fire service. Firefighters are inherently self-sacrificing, right? We don't ask for much. So when we see products come to the forefront that are there for us and not for us to use, right, to help others, but to help ourselves, it's amazing to see. So thank you and the team, and keep it up. Keep up that push.
Thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, what you saw happens every week.
Wow.
Either Fire Chief Chase or a local IFF president or a volunteer president, every week, wherever Ray Lincoln is, he's getting thanked, because he's saving lives legitimately every week. And that's what's impressive about this service. And so I wanted to make sure that that we're at a fire chiefs conference, whether you're at an IFF conference or at the volunteer council meetings, his service has exponentially grown the last 5 years because of what you just witnessed.
Yeah.
Right? You telegraph, telephone, tell a firefighter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Chief, I'm embarrassed because I didn't know of it first. Right. And so that should be a lesson to all attendees. You know, it's easy to walk the vendor hall and look at the pretty fire trucks. We got it.
Yeah.
The fire trucks, they catch our eye. They've been catching our eye since we were 5 years old. Right. But spend more time with these vendors and find out really what they're here for, what services they offer, and then how those services can really better your department. And this is a perfect case. So I've never heard of it before. I've heard of it now. We'll be exchanging some contact information and look forward to doing some business with you in the future, because if that's just a glimpse of what you all are doing, love to have you at our department. And I say that any procurement officers out there listening, we'd have to go through the process, but you get what I mean.
Thank you so much for that. Yeah.
So Ray, I'm curious with your experience from your personal story about how you got into this. What's misunderstood about cancer in the fire service, and what's your message to why fire service members need to take early detection more seriously?
You know, if you look at the historic snapshot, you know, about 50 years ago, President Nixon came up with National Cancer Act, and we were supposed to cure cancer within 5 years of that time. Well, if you look at the American Cancer Society and the information they released in 2024, they're saying that for the first time ever as a nation, we put on 2 million cancers. That equals 5,500 individuals being diagnosed with cancer in US right now every day. Now, if you look at the NIOSH statistics and CDC statistics, you realize that firefighters are 9% greater risk of being diagnosed with cancer and 14% higher risk of dying from cancer once individuals diagnosed with it. So from there, you realize that the problem with cancer and cardiovascular disease is true for every firefighter in the nation. So that's a market, an environment that we're in right now, right? That firefighters need to get access to gold standard diagnostic technology, same technologies that we use in hospital networks or any radiology or cardiology clinics.
And Will and Ron, but with both of your personal lived experiences within the fire service, and Will, you mentioned a kind of a close friend who's passed away. I mean, have you seen any trends or evolution in terms of embracing this concept of early detection in a way that's more so, hey, like maybe not just waiting until it's too bad, but actually being proactive? And you know, what's been the kind of overall vibe in terms of this idea of embracing early detection from wanting to take better care of ourselves?
Yeah, I think it goes back to this point about whether it's cancer or cardiovascular. You know, early on in my career, 20 years ago, we would go to the park and you do push-ups and sit-ups to prove that you were physically fit. And then it progressed into annual physicals. And then it progressed into annual physicals. And then the firefighters actually opening up the packet and looking at the information and then contacting their healthcare providers. So it's at the forefront of firefighters' minds today, because usually when I teach a class at the National Fire Academy, I ask them, does anybody in this class know someone that died of cancer or suicide? And don't raise your hand, right? And then I ask them, if you're willing to just listen to what we got to tell you for this week, then we're going to make sure that we do something to prevent one of those things by preventing the incidents that cause those things. And usually we get buy-in. And so we see firefighters putting this to the forefront, right? Not only are they doing preventative measures, but they're also taking the advice of what the doctors are telling them. So it's good stuff.
Yeah,
We're not there yet, but we're headed in the right direction.
We're definitely in the right direction. It's cities like Charlottesville. You guys are progressive.
Yeah, we're trying.
You're like a little mini Fairfax down
Yeah.
there. Right?
Little baby
Yeah,
Fairfax.
an hour, 20 minutes away. But it's interesting to see how the influence when someone like Ray comes in, speaks to the leadership, to labor and management, because there's no better example of labor management saying we care about our members and personnel than bringing an early diagnostic screening. Not a lot of departments aren't resource rich like ours.
Yeah.
We've seen that over and over again. They don't have a Cadillac occupational health center like we do. They don't have the annual physicals or actually mandate annual physicals. So we do a 25, 30-minute presentation with Ray on a Zoom with department personnel. Hey guys, we want you to voluntarily sign up. It takes one person to say, hey man, they detected something. I got kidney cancer or I got liver, whatever it may be. And it's early detected. And because of the service like this, that person's life is saved, but who brought it? Labor management then gets the credit, and now morale goes up in a department where we see the trend of morale being really crappy lately. So our folks are showing up at the hospital 5 a.m. to walk that person in for his first chemotherapy session. It gives me chills. It gives me chills. I need to say this, Kevin. I'm sorry to. When Ray came to Fairfax, I was the union president. He was bothering me. You got to do this. You got to do this. You got to do this. We finally did it. The first week, we detected a major cardiovascular situation. The person had open heart surgery a week later. The testimonials are online.
Wow.
In Fairfax now, we have 43 cases of cancer that we're dealing with. And most of them early detection. 2 of them, unfortunately, have passed, but they both have said their lives were extended, their quality of lives extended because they knew what was happening. They're able to get treatment and extend a year or so more. I mean, I would call him, teary, like, dude, this is what's happening.
Yeah.
So it's amazing. And I don't necessarily want to make this a complete commercial. It's about the service.
100%.
Get the service in your department and make sure they're what, Ray? What should we look for when we?
Well, when you think about what to look for, we have to just kind of have a common denominator about it, that firefighters deserve the best quality of diagnostic test. A same quality of diagnostic test you would get if you go to major hospital networks or radiology clinics. You can't just deploy ultrasound or CAT scan services like we do. You got to make sure that it's coupled with professional interpretation from radiologists and cardiologists for every image that you obtain on site. And you have to embed telemedicine consultation so individuals not only get scanned, but also have a peace of mind talking about their pathologies with medical professional. Because remember, not every abnormality is an emergency, right? So through telemedicine consultation, the first thing what we do is we alleviate anxiety if pathology is just informational or minor at the moment. And of course, that same phone call helps us to engage folks going to their PCP immediately if we flagged a pathology that needs attention right away. So fully accredited company, professional interpretations in touch for every image, and telemedicine consultation for every abnormal result.
You mentioned the word telemedicine, and I'm curious. And outside, we were talking about ChatGPT and embedding AI within your business. To just dive into the tech overlay within for a second, how is telemedicine and different AI tools being integrated within the delivery of your services?
It's a very important question. I think the telemedicine part of our business is still very humanized. We want one-on-one interaction with our medical professional, but what we are embedding AI is into image quality. The echo images that we obtain, the vascular images or abdominal images that are obtained now can be enhanced with AI. It means it helps the technologist and it helps radiologist who's on the other side interpreting the study to make sure that we mitigate any chances of false positive or false negative cases. And that's where AI is going to be used moving forward. And radiology is one of the markets that is embedding in AI in the very rapid phase. So.
And then I'm curious about all your responses on this one, but what is the current reluctance to embracing this? It seems like it's sort of like, well, this is like, this is a no-brainer. Why are we even talking about this? Of course, it should be a given. But what is the reluctance or some of the obstacles that you're facing with people saying, that's dumb, don't need this, not worth my time?
It's not that. The biggest obstacle that we're dealing with, individuals are saying, you know what, if I don't know, I don't care. This is the notion that we're working against. Folks don't want to go through a screening until they feel pain or they feel something.
It's too late. It's too late. Yeah,
It's
and at that point, it's you got a
yeah.
problem.
We have to be able to find this at stage 1.
Yeah,
because if you find this abnormality in stage 1 for cancer and any organs, the chance of survival on the average goes all the way to 95%. Just think about that. And that survival rate will drop significantly. By the time individuals diagnose, they're already in stage 4 of disease progression. So, just to give you, some stats, in the last 14 months, we've delivered the services to over 600 departments nationwide and IFF members in Canada. From Anchorage, Alaska to New York City, we detected over 100 cases of cancer. That's only what's reported to us so far. Now, every single individual was asymptomatic, had no symptoms.
that's amazing.
But because we've flag their pathologists early, they had time for immediate interventions with their physicians, and they're all
And
alive right
they would
now.
get back to work.
And they're back to light
Yeah.
duty or back to work.
So I want to answer that question too, especially with, so we have Will here, right? Chief Officer. Here's the problem. Labor management agree, let's bring it to we need it for our folks. Personnel are saying we need it for our folks, the fire chief, the politicians. One group in all of our cities, counties, municipalities that says, let's slow the roll. And it happened with me in Fairfax. We don't want to do this because we can't handle the amount of claims they're getting ready to find. I said, I'm sorry, what was that? Because of your guys' inability to handle claims, you don't want to do this. Well, it's Ron, it's going to cost the system money. So they would rather risk management, HR, the benefits folks would rather you diagnosed with stage 4 cancer with 2 to 6 months to live and pay for that rather than be early detection cancer and have to deal with, let's say, a couple of years of treatments or less.
And I would hope that's not the
cheaper.
case for most, you know what I mean? I'll throw it out there for these folks, but business is business, right?
It's a business,
and I get
it's a
it.
numbers game, Will.
Yeah,
And
I
what
get
I've
it.
seen is exactly what I've experienced. Hey, we want this, we want this, we want this. Hey, what's the holdup? It's hard to get the funding or we don't want to bring it in.
Yeah.
Our members paid out of pocket. I never thought I'd see it. And I said, Ray, you need to come back and bring a neurotechnologist. 1,200 people, 1,400 people out of our department went through it. And then we ended up getting a grant. And then the grant paid for everybody. We put everybody through it again. And it was a 90%, I think, of our department ended up going through it. But that's the problem, is trying to really understand, hey, one, this service is not expensive. So you could pay for it HSA, you pay for it out of pocket.
Yeah. We're delivering $4,000 worth of diagnostic tests on site for under $400.
Oh, that's
yeah.
I'm a sneaker guy, right? So these Jordans, right? That's cheaper than a couple pair of Jordans.
Yeah.
So
Correct.
you got to invest in yourself is the key. So if they won't do it, then you invest in yourself.
The benefits that this brings to the department are intangible.
Yeah.
It's awesome, and to have Kevin here, the voice of fire service, speaking about it is great. Ron.
I appreciate that, Ron, but I think we're the voices of the fire service, and so you're giving a keynote here, or you're finishing off one of the talks here at FRI. What are you going to talk about, and what's your key message that you're going to deliver?
Key message, and what I want to bring across is that early detection programs are available to every fire department in the nation. UDS right now is licensed in all 50 states and Canada. Early detection is available in a very affordable way, and we're delivering gold standard diagnostic tool to help detect cancer and cardiovascular disease. Since 2024, we're mobilizing mobile CT to help to detect one of the deadliest cancers, such as lung cancer for firefighters. And that modality also available in all 50 states. So we make it accessible, available, and affordable for every department, regardless of how many individuals they have, to be proactive about cancer and cardiovascular disease, and do it in the same way they do it in any Ivy League hospital, networks, or radiology practices.
No, thank you very much for what you're doing for the fire service.
Thank you.
Wish there was more people like you that really wanted to make a difference on this side of the field. So can't thank you enough. I know we got another gig to get to. Again, thank you so much for just spending time with us and telling us about a little bit about what you're doing. So
thanks for having me.
This is the first and not the last time that we're going to have you in the pod, because I want to hear more from some of those success stories and end users.
Yes,
Because
100%.
I heard that from the corner of my eye too, and that's the kind of stuff that gets out of bed every morning, and I'm fired up to continue to collaborate and work with you. So thanks again.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
I miss you not holding your baby when you're doing this.
We were thinking about bringing him, but he's just a little bit too small. And we went to the zoo last week, and he was just sleeping the whole time, which was great. But maybe next time it's in Orlando.
I guess.
So, all right, guys, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.